Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. The Group Chief Executive Officer of NNPC Limited, Bayo Ojulari, recently called the reopening of the Port Harcourt Refinery and Petrochemical Company as a huge waste of resources for Nigeria, as it lacks the capacity to run refineries profitably. Speaking during the recent 2026 Nigerian International Energy Summit, Ojulari said effective refinery operations require adequate financing, competent engineering, procurement, and construction contractors, as well as strong operational and maintenance capacity conditions. He said NNPC presently does not meet. He used the opportunity to disclose plans by the Nigerian government to partner with a Chinese firm to rehabilitate the country's major refineries, as opposed to the usual choice of handing out contracts for the same purpose. Ojulari did not forget to heap praises on Dangote Refinery for stepping into the needy gap regarding the country's downstream oil sector. For a bit more on all of that, we are now being joined by energy consultant and entrepreneur Dan Kunle. Good morning and welcome to the morning show.
Thank you very much.
Good morning.
Exactly. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you too.
Happy New Year.
This season, Steve, how are you today?
I'm very well.
Thank
Good
you.
to have you.
Thank you. It's nice to be with you.
Thank you. It's nice to see you again. Now,
thank you very much.
Very importantly, NNPC Group CEO has said, Bayo Ojulari has said that opening the Port Harcourt Refinery was a waste of resources. I think some of us... Colossal waste of resources. I believe some of us believed so even at the time. Now they're said that the Nigeria plans to work with a Chinese firm in order to rehabilitate it. Are we dealing with a sunk cost fallacy here? Are we going to keep sinking more and more money into our refinery, billions over the last 2 decades, even though they're not working? Or do you believe that this is going to be a new shift and this might actually bring us working refineries online to the country?
Thank you very much. We are back. I've invested so much in the last 23 years. My passion and emotions on the waste and wastages in the oil and gas industry in Nigeria. I think I saw a ray of hope when I heard Bayo Ojulari speaking 4 days ago to one of your stars here. And I was very elated. I said, for the first time in my lifetime, am I hearing the truth from the seat of NNPC? He's the first GMD from 2007 to date that we say the truth. Anybody check. Every GMD comes there, they will tell you, they will make heavens to come. Paradise will be here. One even told us that in 2 years he will fix the refinery. Another one came and said, the staff can fix it. Port Harcourt Refinery, they never fix it. So now for the first time, I felt very relieved. In fact, that's why I'm happy you people invited me to hear a thing like that from Ojulari. The only snag is, and we must praise him also for audaciously saying Dangote Refinery has come to save the country oil and gas sector. The energy security of this country we have secured it. That's why I wrote an article recently, which came out yesterday, that the end of fuel import regime is here. Now to go to his statement, to Bayo Ojulari's statement that the refinery rehabilitation has been colossal waste over the year. Yes, it's true. In fact, it was really... I don't expect all the previous GMD who plunged us into that to be free in their homes. They should be in jail by now because they cannot say they didn't know. When we want them not to do it in 2018-19, not to go ahead, they say, we are not, we are against Baba Buhari. That was what they said. So now that they have wasted all that money, we should go with forensic auditor to trace where every kobo has gone to. Because I believe Maria Technimont, the consultant, we give account of how much they got. All the subcontractor, how much they got, we must know. President Tinubu must not look away on this matter. It will continue to reoccur. Because we told them not to do it, that it will not work, that government cannot run refineries. Go back. Google does not tell lie. Go and see all my articles. when I said Kachuku should resign for the following 10 reasons. It's there on Google. So now, I don't want Bayo Ojulari to make another expensive mistake after he has done very well now. He should not go and be engaging any Chinese on technical partnership. It's wrong. Bayo Ojulari should prepare all the documents of the refineries, the 3, and hand them over to National Council on Privatization. Go and check the law. BP, National Council on Privatization, has power to sell our assets in this country. That's privatization or liquidation, any language you want to call it. Yes, sell them, privatize them as they are to co-investors. LLNG is 51% owned by Shell, Total, and ENI. So they take control. If they want to invest $10 million, they will say 49% bring your own. If you don't bring, they carry you, they charge you for that carriage. Carriage means you're supposed to bring 4.9 million, you didn't bring. They put it on your behalf, they charge you, you sign. Ask, that's how it is done. So now we privatize Eleme Petrochemical owned by government. It was not working. We privatized it 2006, 2007 to Indorama of Indonesia. They have a big petrochemical plant in Indonesia. I was physically there. They have in Thailand. Big. They bought it. They bought majority share of Eleme Petrochemical. Today, they have turned it to a fortune. Government still have share, but they take lead. We try to privatize Ajaokuta on co-investor sales from concession to full privatization. It was not concluded before Yar'Adua came. And they drove away the concessionaire holder. What it cost this country $490 million in penalty, arbitration award. And Baba Buhari, they paid that money before they left office. People who brought just briefcase to our offices in the BP in those days became multi-billionaire in Naira or in dollars. I have no grudges against them. That is how the system allow anybody to get away with anything. So this time, we are not going to any partnership with Chinese. Advertise the refinery for whoever wants to buy. Call back Credit Suisse. Credit Suisse, first boasting, did the documentation for the privatization in 2006, 2007. We paid them fee. So call them back or call any investor, investment banker back. Return to sales. Privatize it.
That's OBJ.
Yes. Not even OBJ. President Tinubu is there now. He's a business expert. Advertise them for sale.
Why do you think that it is only in Nigeria that we say every time that government cannot run anything?
Because government in Nigeria cannot even give you water in your house. Water is life. Do you have water in Lagos? I saw people fetching water in Victoria Island, carrying it on their head as if I was still in the village when I was going to primary school in my village. Government cannot give you safety and security. See what has happened in Kwara State. So government in the third world nation, see what's happening in Pakistan recently. Government in third world nation have not lived up to expectation. They cannot govern properly. So you and me are advocating and putting pressure on our leaders to govern us properly so they can run business. To even run federal secretariat in Abuja, you go there, you see the pot of flour, you see it dying. You say, I'm very observant. The staircase is broken. When you are on the staircase, if you are not careful, you get accident. That is government building. They will use fancy materials to waste money instead of them to use bricks, solid bricks, or clean bricks so that no need of painting every year. So government cannot manage even government resources, which is, you know yourself, just the bureaucracy. They can't even manage it. Not to talk of running. Okay, all the industries in Nigeria. Please, you people take economic history lesson. From 1960 to date, All the hotels in Nigeria owned by government, they were run down. We sold them. I was director on Nigerian Hotels Industries. Go to one they call Martin Street there. You will see one called, is it Bristol? Go and see how it was run down. When we wanted to liquidate or privatize it, they sent me from VP to go and look at the hotel. You cannot enter. The whole place was smelling. Government ran down Ikoyi Hotel. We privatized it. So how do you expect government to run refinery or to run petrochemical? What Bayo Ojulari is trying to do now is the best. Concentrate gas master plan. We started in 2007. Yes. Concentrate in upstream investment where the big boys can play. That is what Oando is doing now. Oando migrated away from downstream activities and go upstream. That is what Arada is doing. That is what Seplat is doing. Let Bayo Ojulari concentrate in the upstream business and gas, and they will make enough fortune for us.
In the interview that you referenced, his interview with our own Vimbai, he did admit that he doesn't know too much about how refineries are run because it's more of a, of a downstream, person. He hasn't spent a whole year, I believe. Do you think that his decisions might be a bit hasty?
It's not.
It's not?
9 months. He was even late. I believe he's a very brilliant chap, but it's very easy to understand downstream. Midstream, downstream is very easy. You take your crude to the midstream, that's refinery, you crack it, you get all the yields, you sell. In Nigeria, the three own, call it 4 own government refineries. All these years, none of them have returned profit. Go and check their books. They are all limited liability company. They don't even have board.
Now, yes.
Yes, they have been limited. Look, my brother, when I was younger, I tried to work to help Kaduna Refinery to rehabilitate a unit they are called sulfur recovery unit. I say it, let any of them come and challenge me. Chiyoda built Kaduna Refinery from Japan. They used to be in Saudi Arabia. It was from there they were introduced to Nigeria in 1976-77 under Obasanjo. So I know the architect that work on Kaduna Refinery. So I know in and out of Kaduna Refinery. I grew up there. So the sulfur recovery unit was not working. We proposed we should rehabilitate it. No way, they did not allow it to happen. So what I'm trying to say is that each of these companies are limited liability company. I say they don't even have board. So all the money NNPC have been sinking there directly as a holding company. They must account for it. Why we are insisting is that they took majority of Nigerians, 200 million people for a ride, that once they get that position, they will just enrich themselves and the remaining of us are fools. When Dangote was building his refinery, they were walking around to sabotage it and say it will not work, that he will not succeed. Some will call me and say, are you sure this your friend will get this refinery to work? I will say he's working very hard day and night. Because they have been milking money with the people importing. So it was a conspiracy. So the refineries, as they are today, Bayo Ojulari did not make a mistake by saying he has studied it, it cannot work. It's true. His statement is valid. They cannot work as they are structured today.
Yeah, but that comes back to what I said about Obasanjo, who said the refineries will never work. And therefore, yes, you may be right that Bayo Ojulari has admitted. But then, like the others before him, he probably doesn't want to be an accotulator. The person under who said she...
In fact, that is the language Baba Obasanjo called me one day in his house in Villa. Over a working paper mill. He may be listening, I will remind him. A working paper mill. A particular governor of blessed memory came in and saw me with Baba Obasanjo talking. He now said, Baba, why are you talking with this chap? They are looking for concession from me to give to a working paper mill, concession of forest, because we sold the working paper mill to somebody. So, and the guy was looking for a working paper mill forest concession to attach to the plant. And Baba said, and your accutulator means you people who sold everything that we have. We now say, Baba, the Iwoku paper mill was abandoned since you left office. Nothing has happened to it. So I have to explain. I say, we have privatized it, sir. So he asked me who it was sold to. I tried to remember that time. So now, it's not that we were eager to sell. Ask Malam Nasru El-Rufai. No, none of the government projects were successful except LLNG. I will give you another bad case, which I pray very soon President Tinubu will turn it to a good case. Aluminium smelter, we spent $3.6 billion. As at that time, 5-point-something billion Dutch mark. Because the contract was between us and Ferrostar AG of Germany. They built it. World-class plant. Go to Ikotabasi. It's the best place to go to in Nigeria that time to visit. World-class, German standard. Aluminium smelter, about 200,000 metric tons of aluminum ingot capacity. That means you need about 400,000 metric tons of alumina to smelt to get that. Till as I'm talking, it has never worked. Obasanjo flagged it off in 1999. 2 years down the line, it has to go down.
Why?
Sustaining industry, my brother. The working capital you need to sustain industry. You can't leave it for ministry, bureaucracy to pass file from one table to another. Why do you have so many uncompleted roads in Nigeria? It's bureaucracy now. The money is not there. The Minister of Works can do the best engineering design and everything and award the contract. Where is the funding? So you can't run industries, particularly process engineering industry like refineries, on the basis of...
Ojulari says that's why he gives the Chinese that even if it takes them having equity in the business.
No, he cannot do it like that. It must be transparently done. Let me warn the Chinese, don't come. The same way the Indians came and took Ajaokuta on concession and they were sent out and it entered into arbitration and we lost money. If the Chinese come, I'm very close to the Chinese. I'm on red carpet in China. For your information. CNPC, China National Petroleum Corporation, PetroChina.
Yes.
They were here. From here they went to Niger, they discovered oil. They were the one to buy Kaduna Refinery for $103 million.
The Chinese.
Obasanjo, yes. Obasanjo said no. If I sell 103 million, they will say I have that's the Chinese the refinery. But what was the caveat? The Chinese said we will build crude pipeline from Niger to feed Kaduna Refinery. We will refine Niger, we take their own. Nigeria has big market, you take your own. We will use our money to fix Kaduna Refinery. Obasanjo said, if I sell at 103, they will say I have dashed them. That was how CNPC did not get it. Check the record. If anything I have said here is not true, don't bring me to your studio anymore. Okay. Everything I say. So go back to the Chinese. Anybody who wants to touch any of this refinery must be by privatization. So that we know that you bought the share. You pay for it. Whether you pay 10 naira, that is a different ball game. Or by liquidation, we know we have liquidated the refinery because the whole pipes, you see, corrosion. It's all corrosion. So what are you buying? Are you buying the land? If I were some people, I would just go and buy it because it's the land that is still good. I will dismantle the whole thing and put something else here.
I want to ask you about the theatre we saw last year and the year before, when they told us that the Port Harcourt Refinery had come on. What exactly was happening from your...
Madam, I think you know my daughter, this one, pretty daughter. You know Kelvin Emmanuel said something. He said they were blending. They didn't like that language. They were running after him. Madam, they were blending. That small refinery was built in 1965 as a utility refinery. The word utility means Shell, BP were using the diesel and the naphtha to run their operating rigs field. That's where they were getting liquids to go and run their operating fields, to power their operating fields. You can imagine how rural Nigeria was in 1965. So that refinery was not really meant to produce first-class PMS. But that time they made a quick fix. It's still part of the conspiracy and the gangsterism that Mele Kyari led. And he will be telling us on television that he is holier than I don't expect Tinubu to spare those guys.
You expect them to be...
They should be in jail. All of them should be in jail.
You said it the last time you came here and you're repeating it.
I'm repeating it consistently. I will do, because I've invested so much of my life in this thing and they think they can just get away with it like that. They were all fraud boys. So now, that refinery they say was working, was not working. They were patching, they were doing blending, so as to just push out something to us, to you and me, which may be up to 250 or 300 ppms sulfur. They now condemn Dangote Refinery, which they didn't have laboratory to even go and check the quality of what they produce and what Dangote was producing. So it was all fraud, madam. And all the people who gathered themselves to go to that Mecca. Mecca is a holy place, so don't let us use... That place they went to was devilish. So I would not like to compare Mecca with what they did there at that time.
Other people, you mean those that were flown on the
they went there and say, yes, it was working. They took... you can still see part of the conspiracy of the country. That is why now they are attacking Bayo now for saying the truth.
Yes.
Why should they attack Bayo for saying the truth? Should we continue to import when we produce crude?
Yeah, but Mr. Ojulari did add a caveat, in praising Dangote Refinery, that even though Dangote Refinery might not have the capacity yet to feed Nigeria with everything that it is.
If we consume 50 million liters per day, Dangote does at times 55 million liters. In fact, now it can hit 70 million any moment from now. Liters per day.
Is Mr. Ojulari not aware?
So Oju is aware, but he talks like an engineer. He leaves margin. You see, for the first time, I am for Ojulari, but my article of first week of April last year when he was appointed still stand valid. When he's 1 year, I will review it, God's willing, and see where he's lacking. So he's not, nobody has chosen me as policeman of the industry. I voluntarily did this because I've seen too much fraud. I've seen too much fraud.
We need more voices like yours
within the industry. Yes. So now, including power, electricity, is all fraud. So now, Ojulari said so in order to say, look, if in case Dangote have any technical hitch that he cannot give sufficient fuel per day to the country, that window, that is why a nation needs reserve. The only person who have reservoir capacity for us today in this country is Dangote. His storage capacity, federal government should just call him and say, please dedicate 500 million liters into your reservoir for us. We pay you per meal per day, even if it is 10 kobo. The capacity that guy has brought to be on ground here should never be underrated anywhere in the world. The whole world. The whole world.
But
Nigerians are still
dealing with is the quality of his diesel allegedly is being questioned in some Western countries.
There is nowhere they can question it. Recently, I got a message from Benin Republic. They said they want to buy petrol and diesel from Dangote Refinery. I said they should send me the specification. I can share this with you. They send me specification and say specification must comply with Burkina Faso. So I say things scientifically. What is Burkina Faso's specification for diesel? 1,000 ppm. 1,000 ppm. Dangote is doing 10 ppm, between 10 and 50, depending. So in the name of, how can our price now work there? That 1,000 ppm, they are selling it almost 1,700 per liter. That is the worst petrol to buy in the world. That's sulfur. So how can somebody in Benin Republic be asking me to supply Burkina Faso specs to him? Because that's what they are using. So when somebody is sitting here to say somebody challenge the quality of the petrol of Dangote or diesel, my brother, the diesel of Dangote goes to Brazil, Mexico, America, It's not theory. Our Jet A1 goes to the whole world. It's not theory. So why is Nigeria like this? Why are we so primitive like this? We need, you and me must engage in this continuous education to educate even the so-called people who are elitists in Nigeria, who are elitists by just running into money. They are not elitists in their lifestyle. I hope they are not elitists, they are not well informed, their mind is not open, they are not liberated, but by money, quantity, hey, they are big men.
I want
no courtesies,
yes.
Not polite.
No, but before we even go down that road,
divert your social.
Yes. Yeah. Before we go down that road, before we even focus on that, because we're talking about refineries here, and I really want to go back. I know you said some people should be in jail, but SERAP recently sued NNPC for audited accounts for 2021. We said we spent $18 billion on fixing our refineries, but SERAP is saying that $2.5 billion is unaccounted for, it's missing. How significant are these figures that we're hearing? $18 billion is a lot of money. That's 18 JZs, right? That's more money than most people on those whole continents are worth, even our billionaires, right? How significant is it that SERAP is suing NNPCL for $2.5 billion in missing money, and it's all linked to these refineries that still do not work?
Thank you. And this one, you get 10 students, postgraduate students, 10 that are doing criminology, postgraduate students in criminology.
Yes.
Deploy them to go and dig out what has happened in NNPC from 2007 to date. Criminologists, they should get Scotland Yard, FBI to join them. Let's beg Ford Foundation or Rockefeller Foundation to finance them. President Tinubu, please, just give them free hand. Since luckily President Tinubu just spent only 2.5 years, so his own team, maybe Mele, may be the one that will be implicated. So since but I believe he will be free. As for him, President Tinubu will be free.
Yes.
But let them check all the people who have run the oil and gas industry. These figures are intimidating.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's say from Lamido Sanusi, His Royal Highness, the time he made that pronouncement of how many $1 billion,
yes,
to date, 2014, if you remember, before he lost his job. Let's say even 25%, because Nigeria, we exaggerate, let's say 50% of all the claims are real. And this one, see how many universities, not university, primary school we can reform.
Absolutely.
Primary health centers we can reform. Good road we can fix. If people just live decently, you know, in Brazil, a minister in Brazil uses Toyota Corolla. If you see how massive Brazil is developing, you will say, what's wrong with Nigeria? So these figures are the figures we have been banding around in the beer parlor everywhere, and nobody is ready to audaciously say, open it up, let's even see the truth.
Yes.
Let's interrogate it.
Let's interrogate it. Why are we hiding behind one finger, and yet the country is sinking every day? Inside wealth.
All right.
We are importing rice.
Mr. Dankule, I mean, your point...
We're importing palm oil.
We are importing palm, madam. Adesua, you see, I always say madam because I don't want to insult you.
It's okay.
See, palm oil from my village, in fact, Kogi East is all palm oil. Don't even mention. So Kole, why? Inside my compound in my village, I have more than 30 palm trees inside my compound. And yet we are importing it. Because on the street in Abuja, even in Lagos, you will see palm tree abused. Go to Malaysia, they treat it like this is the tree of wealth. So we are spoiled children.
They learned it from here. You know, remember they came in those days. But your points are well made.
So now let's go back to oil and gas, where they have really gas-lamped us all these years. So those figures, madam, has to be interrogated.
Yes. And
all of them that are pointing, accusing finger, Dangote will not work, it has worked now. He's secured the country for us, energy-wise.
Obviously.
So they should now turn their tongue and their mouth and thank him and praise him and pray for him.
Ojulari has done that.
Ojulari has done that. So I
Your
clap for
points
him.
are clear about why it shouldn't go the Chinese, route,
Yeah, okay.
and that it should go into, either scrapping or privatizing. That's clear. But we've totally run out of time. But I wouldn't want you to go without revisiting one issue that you mentioned, because it concerned an aspect of our own job, even in this group, Arise Media Group, and this day. You mentioned what happened to Iwokpin paper mill.
Yes.
What went wrong? Were we not able to? Because everything that we use in producing newspapers in Nigeria come from abroad.
Yes.
What happens to our mills? What went wrong? What can we do in 2 minutes? If you can just
Okuiboku newsprint
Okuiboku
in Itu
yes,
is the one that was to produce long span paper for your use in the newspaper industry.
yes.
Iwokpin paper mill, for you to know that I took my economic history is very good. I read everything. Iwokpin paper mill was to produce papers for office use, typing paper.
Yes.
A4,
A3 and co.
Now, the type of wood that was planted that time was to suit that one. The one in Okuiboku was to suit. Jeba was to produce, Nigerian paper mill Jeba was to produce craft paper.
Okay.
For bagging cement, for children learning architecture, those craft paper. Okay. All are done. I think Jeba, we liquidated it or privatized it to some in Indian group. So now, what you need is this. As basic as paper,
Yes.
the raw material is wood or banana trees. In India now, they use banana trees, so it's dissolvable easily. Yeah, it's wood. All you need is to go back to the forest and replant the wood and put a paper mill. We are importing all our paper today from, it's so sad, from Indonesia, from all over.
Do you think if a government like we have now devotes 4 to 5 years into that, we can
It's
get some...
doable, it's achievable. There are just some basic things that if you don't do as a country, you are not serious. We are just not serious. You can't produce steel. You can't produce paper. You can't produce enough rice to feed your people with huge land. You can't even produce chicken. Brazil produced 1 year, I think 2019, about 3-point-something billion chicken. Go and check what I'm saying. May I talk with facts? Why? Because Brazil invested so much in soya beans, corn. So the multiplier effect, they were able to produce enough feed. So, so what is wrong with us? We can't produce paper. All the paper mills are closed now. Iwokpin, we liquidated it. I think, we sold the Iwokpin by privatization, by co-investor. Okuiboku by liquidation. And Jeba, I think, by liquidation. Till today, what has happened? My brother, I think President Tinubu took a bold decision.
Yes.
To deregulate.
Yes.
And we are lucky it coincided with when Dangote Refinery happened.
Absolutely.
If it has not happened that time, the deregulation will have caused riot for Tinubu.
True.
I tell you.
True.
And dollar will have been by now be around 2,500. So we are lucky that President Tinubu took those decisions, the regulation and merged the forex.
Right.
Now, Bayo Ojulari also have moved. He should be supported. But he should concentrate in upstream gas and oil production.
Fantastic.
Downstream assets, hand them over to BP to privatize them.
Fantastic. On that note, Mr. Kunle, we want
thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you very much for joining us on the Morning Show today.
I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.